Good afternoon, Tottenham fans, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur for Match Day Live as Tottenham travel north of the border to Scotland to take on Hearts in what is the first of their official pre-season friendlies and the first of 6 over the course of this pre-season. I'll be here for every single one, giving you guys build-up and watch-alongs as well. So hopefully you can join us for the course of the pre-season. And today, to get us kicked off and going, we are joined by the one and only Michael. Michael, how are you keeping, sir?
Big up, everyone. I'm good. It's been a bit of a struggle because my cats are sick and we have to tend to them and give them all the medical stuff, right? But other than that, and the fact that it's really hot outside, other than that, everything is okay. So yeah, looking forward to the game. Looking forward to speaking with you guys.
Might have to move to Poland for the rest of this month. It's cloudy over here, dark skies. It looks like it's going to piss rain anytime soon. But Michael, good to have you on, my man. Really appreciate you giving up your time this evening. We'll also head down to Soren. Soren, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm doing well, thank you. We're back, baby!
Come on.
Woo!
Absolutely buzzing. And it's great to have you back as well. Of course, you were brilliant on last season's pre-match build-ups, and I'm delighted that you've committed to be able to do as many as you can across this season. Really do appreciate it, my man. And then last but not least, some would call him the star. I call him a pain in the ass. Dermo, how are you keeping, my man?
I'll take either. I don't care. I'm just glad Tottenham's back. I'm glad the Euros are over. We've got proper football. No more of that boring European falling asleep shite. We've got proper Ange ball. That's what we want. It's back and come on. And thanks for having me on again, Dave. Love coming on here.
I really appreciate, again, you giving up your time this afternoon, and we are back, and I cannot wait. Of course, we have plenty of stuff to discuss tonight, like some Will Lancashire, Tyrese Hall, Moore, Donnelly have all travelled with the squad, along with Bergville and Gray. Jed Spence also travelled. Interesting talking point there. Question marks around Richarlison and Adoji and their fitness. Will we see them tonight or not? So we have plenty of things to talk through, and whatever else your co-host, Genius Dave, has come up with to talk about as we go along. Just quickly, I want to welcome in some people, and then we are going to crack on. Let's welcome in MV Joker Davies all the way from Australia. Come on, bring on Mikey. He wants Mikey Moore. Good to see you. Mark, hey chaps and chat. Good to see you as always, Mark. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Scotty Hynam, big up to all. Come on, you Spurs. Good to see you, Scotty. And great that the first 3 people are in are all members. Absolute legends. Really appreciate that. Madison Edwards will be interested to see if Gray and Phillips start. Of course, we'll be talking about Ashley Phillips. How could I forget? Of course, not many defenders left around or traveling over these next 2 games. So a huge opportunity for someone like Ashley Phillips to make an imprint and try and grab that 4th centre-back spot in the squad this year. Finn Rickwood, big up Dave and Jack and everyone in the chat. Good to see you, Finn. Hopefully you're keeping well. We've also got Phil Coy's game days back, baby. Come on, you Spurs. Let the army, big up, Phil. And you know what? I'm glad everyone is starting to share my excitement because, not going to lie, I got out of bed this morning with a pep in my step because we're back. Responded to comments underneath my video and then started watching the Ange documentary on Spurs play to get myself absolutely pumped up for today, then with Spurs music. And I feel like I've been on my own sort of getting revved up for this game. So it's good that that there is so many people joining me and pumped for this game. Good to see Zeddy. Is anyone else unbelievably excited for this game that we are? We're all very, very excited, lad. We've also got Paul Connor. Big up to the panel. Good to see you, Paul. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Shem Tam, hey, the Spurs panel. Mr. Dave, Dermo, Soren, and the amazing, knowledgeable Michael. Come on, you Spurs. Finally. Big up, Shem. Really appreciate that. Daryl Bradford, always good to watch streamers that can be critical without being total arrogant assholes. Big up, Dave and panel. Look, really appreciate that. I'm sure some people are of the opinion that I am a total asshole sometimes with, the way I criticize and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, one thing you can never accuse me of is I'm honest. I'll give my opinion whether people like it or not. So, big up Darryl. Really appreciate that. Slim Boy Tubbs, the greatest oxymoron in the Spurs fan base. Big up one and all. Come on, you Spurs. Good to see you. Along with Mark F. Can't wait, boys. Come on, you Spurs. And Robert Clapham says, looking forward to see how Bergville does. I think we're all very excited to see how some of our new arrivals get on. Shem Tam can Soren share all that wine behind him so he can enjoy. So, do you know what? He probably, if it was real, he'd probably be able to sell it and sell it out after the Euros, final and what happened there.
Well, what do you mean if it's real?
Did you not tell me before they were all just bottles? No, maybe I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong.
No, they looked
He's told me
Yeah,
it's
they
real.
look full for me.
He's sending me over about 20 bottles for the season. I'm going to need it, I think, with this season.
Yeah.
So
It's not wine, though, just so you know.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
look,
whiskey.
you know what? After about 10 games into the season, if you do want to be able to cope, ring Soren. You might be able to help you out. Big
It
up,
might
Rimsy.
be
Good
gone
to
by
see you as
then.
well. Huh?
It might be gone by then.
Could be, you never know. And big up, Rimsy. Really appreciate it on the people's asshole. Really appreciate that, Rimsy. Well, look, guys, we'll start with Dark Sun G. Very nice of him to put in a super chat. Really appreciate the support for the channel, my man. So we'll start off with this, guys, and get your feelings. He says, come on, you Spurs. This preseason feels different than previous ones because of Ange, our young talents like Moore, Lancashire, Gray, Bergval, etc., and 80% of the dead wood gone. So look, we'll kick off with you, Soren, and work our way back around the panel. Do you agree with Dark Sun G that maybe there's a different feeling? Because some people would argue we've been here before. We had a half season under Jose Mourinho heading into a preseason. Same underneath Conte heading into a preseason. So what's your opinions? Does it feel different this time around? I agree with him about the deadwood being gone.
Yeah, I think there's certain elements, definitely. We're looking at the squad and you're thinking we've got rid of some that we were desperate to get rid of. We're still looking at some that need to go and will be gone. Is it different under Ange? I don't know, because I think you look at pre-season and it's kind of a give and take. If you have a real good pre-season, we seem to start poor. We have a poor pre-season, we seem to start well. So you kind of look at it, and I think these first few games for me, it's not about the football. It's not about who plays necessarily. It's just about Tottenham are back. It's rolling into the season. It's time to start getting excited. Look, there's a lot of negativity around the team and the manager and the club and everything. For me now is that it's the exciting time. It's wondering what's going to come. Is it going to be as good as we hope? Is it going to be a new dawn? Is it, are we opening a new door? Yes, a lot of things are different about the club, but for me, pre-season is just pre-season. It's just the beginning of the next step.
No, look, I think there's validity to your argument. Look, I share Dark Sun G's sentiment in terms of I'm more excited about this squad heading into the season. Yes, there's still some deadwood to be shipped out and some more signings to be made, but there's about 15, 16 of that squad that I can get behind, that I like personally as players. And I think it's huge from in years gone by where I famously said I hated at least 80% of the Tottenham squad under the likes of Jose Mourinho to a large degree. So I think that's exciting for sure. The likes of Bergval, Gray, Lancashire, Moore, Donnelly, all the unknowns with these youngsters, very, very exciting as well. However, we have been here before, and to what you're saying, Soren, it is preseason. Let's urge you not to get too carried away. Of course, you can be excited. You know me, I ain't a party pooper. But preseason, especially these first few games, is mainly used to start building up your fitness and maybe have a look at some of the youngsters ahead of the preseason tour. On the preseason tour, towards the back end of it, maybe that friendly against Bayern Munich is where you'll see maybe some tactical, tweaks and stuff like that if we're going to see it. Dermo, what's your feelings on what Dark Sun G has had to say?
Look, I think this season is different because we have got the deadwood out and we've got decent players in. The transfer window hasn't even got going yet. Yeah. Because of the Euros, because of the Copa America, all the players we're after are away in international duty. And all this sort of doom and gloom that we haven't bought anyone, we're getting left behind. We're not, because nobody has bought anyone. All right, Man United have bought players, but the bought players haven't been away in international duty. They've been sitting on the beach somewhere. So for me, we're in for an exciting time this summer with pre-season as well. Soren is right. It's all about getting match fitness. It's all about getting into the groove of things. It's all about getting back into Ange ball, seeing new players, getting them up to speed, getting the youngsters in, and taking it and see where we can get ready for the first game. Leicester away is where it starts. Not tonight, not Saturday, on the first Monday of the season. Let's see where we are at the end of August, 1st of September. I can tell you one thing. We are getting 4 players in. We're getting 1 centre-back, a midfielder, a winger, and a striker. Now, I don't know who they are yet, but I know for guaranteed fact we're getting 4 players in. Ange is going to be the best prepared Tottenham manager we've had in years at the start of the season. We've got a good squad. We've brought good youngsters. Let's get behind the team. But let's not get excited too early. Let's enjoy Tottenham this pre-season. And from the first day of the season, let's hit the ground running. And let's see where it takes us. Because who knows where it can take us. As long as we can win something this year, I don't care if it's the League Cup. If we win something this year, Ange's second season, he wins something. Mm-hmm. I've seen him up at Celtic. I'm a massive Celtic fan. Me and Dave have had the luxury of watching Ange up there. He's won everywhere he's gone. He will win something with Tottenham next season. This season coming. Guarantee me. He will win a silverware. But let's enjoy this pre-season. It's the first pre-season in a while we can enjoy. Because every other pre-season, rather in turmoil, or there's players leaving or whatever. Let's enjoy this pre-season. That's what it's all about.
Just a quick question there for you, Dermot. If we got to a final but didn't win, say we were playing City, would that be enough?
That would be progression for me. I want to win. Of course I want to win.
Yeah.
But getting to a final, I think we can beat City.
No, but I'm just saying, if that was
that would be good for me. Yeah. To be fair, and top four as well. That would be really good for me.
Yeah.
But for me, City are not this all conquering, almighty animal. City are beatable as much as anyone.
Yeah,
this is going to be the most interesting Premier League. Yeah. I know what you're getting at. Yeah, it would be enough to answer your question. But this Premier League season, I think it's 1 out of 6 teams can win the Premier League this year. And we're in the mix of that.
Absolutely.
I would like to add to that if we got defeated by City in a supposed final, right? For me, a lot depends on the manner of the defeat, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Like the way we went out to them in the FA Cup last season, right? I cannot accept that, right? I think we kind of I don't want to be harsh, but I felt a bit embarrassed with the performance, right?
I don't think nobody would, Michael. Nobody would accept that. You're spot on to that, but that's gone. We start fresh, and we start from now, and we head into this season full of optimism, full of hope, and I think we can do something. So let's get behind them. Come on.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the fact that Dermo starts with just quickly. He goes, let's not get carried away, and then he's already talking about Man City. I only took him 5 minutes to get carried away. But Michael, do you agree with what Soren and Dermot has had to say, and what Dark Sun G has to say here, or do you have a difference of opinion? Do you see it a little bit differently?
I think like 1 or 2 seasons ago, someone at the club decided that the club needs a bit of a rehaul, in my opinion. I'm just talking strictly about the squad, right? The football side, right? And I don't think we are done with the whole, restructuring and, shifting the deadwood out and bringing in new players, because there are still some players that I would get rid of, right? We still have a couple of players that I'm not really satisfied with. And I still think our squad can be upgraded and needs upgrading, right? As we all know, we need better forward line, right? We need better backups in certain positions, right? It's not a secret. But as you said, and I really want to echo what you said, David, right? Because I've been part of this channel, I think, for 2 years. And if I remember correctly, when I first came in, I said kind of what you said, right? That I don't like the squad. I don't like these players. I don't like watching some of them, right? It was really disheartening, because as a fan, you are supposed to like the player, you are supposed to like watching your team, and I didn't at that point, right? Soon it was like the beginning of Conte era, right? So soon it shifted, and we actually started playing quite well, right? But I was still dissatisfied with Dyer being part of the squad, Dele Alli and Ndombele and all those guys. I know Dele Alli is like a precious boy for many of our fans, but I, as a relatively newer fan, I didn't really hold emotions towards him, because I didn't see the good part of Dele Alli, right? So just to excuse myself, because I know that maybe someone will come in the comments for me that I'm slandering Dele Alli, right? But right now, as you said, there are 15, 16, 17 players in this squad that I actually really like, and I like their personalities. I like their approach to playing football, and I am willing to give it more time, right? I am not at the point where we have to do something now, we have to win, we have to do that, we have to do this, right? I still think there is a lot of work to be done with the squad, but I am absolutely buzzing that I'm going to see the squad in its current shape in an hour or two, right? I really hope to see some of the new faces, especially the two midfielders that we bought, Bergvall and Gray, right? They are young. I do not expect them to light the world on fire in this upcoming season, but I hope that they will get game time, and I hope that this preseason game will be the beginning of that, right? So I always like come from a place where I would rather not get too overhyped before the season, because I don't want to suffer the letdown, right? I would rather build myself up during the season if I am given like a reason to be hyped, right? But that's my approach. So I'm really looking forward to the game, but I'm not at the level of like, fuck yeah, we are going to win, this and that and that and that, right? It's just my approach. Nothing wrong with.
So am I the only one who practices winning the trophy at the end of the season then already?
Believe me, I envision it every single day through my head, every single day. But look, I think going into this season, there's still a lot of question marks, right? We haven't really made any improvements to that forward line. That drastically needs to be improved. Not only the players that we have need to step up and contribute more, but I'd argue probably need one or two more players to come in and fit in there and really elevate that forward line if we want to go after a title challenge, like Ange Postecoglou stated all last season. Let's not forget, he used the press to be able to hammer home that point every time they asked him about the question. And of course, we've still got some players on the periphery of squad that we want gone, of course. However, I do think we should be excited heading into this preseason. And this is one thing I think I'm going to talk about tomorrow on my panel show, is that many people argue there is no plan at Tottenham Hotspur. They want to see a plan. I've had a thought about this, and I'd maybe argue back that there is a plan. It's just whether you believe in the plan or not. And that plan, and it's clear since Paratici's arrived, if you follow the trends and the patterns, is to snap up the best young talent around world football, around European football, put it all into one squad. And then I can only guess that I think the next part of that plan, I would hope, is to naturally progress them, year in, year out, rather than sell them on for huge money. So it's just whether people back that or not. And for me, I'm excited to see the likes of Graham Bergvall today. I'm excited to see whether Mikey Moore, Jamie Donnelly, Phillips, Tyrese Hall, people like that can step up today and make an impact in a game like today and put their name in the ring to go on tour for preseason. I've watched them all last season. So there is many exciting things heading into today's game that I think we shouldn't get too carried away with what we haven't done, and just, we're in the moment now of the game day. Just sit back, enjoy it, and look out for some of these exciting things. We have all day tomorrow and the rest of the week to be able to dissect, what the club haven't done and stuff like that. But look, that's where I'm at for heading into today's game. But Dark Sun G, great talking point to kick it off, my man, and really appreciate the support, brother. Great conversation. Also, let us know your thoughts on what every single one of us has had to say. And he also says, can't wait to see Son, Werner, Johnson, Kulu play. Come on, you Spurs. I'm really excited about Kulusevski this year. I'm hoping he's ready to explode onto the scene. That's my hope around it. I also feel secretly he might end up playing striker for Tottenham over part of this campaign. And that's one thing I'm really looking forward to seeing, as I think it's better suited than out wing. In terms of Werner and Johnson, I'll be brutally honest, I just want to see progression on last year. If I see that, I'll get off their case. If I don't, I'm going to continue to sit here and ask for it over the course of the season. But big up Dark Sun G, absolute legend. Really do appreciate the support. I'm going to keep getting comments up as I go along. But guys, we're going to start moving into maybe some of the players that have travelled and give our thoughts on them. Jed Spence travelled with the squad today. I want to know, are people surprised that he's making this trip? And could Jed Spence be getting another chance? Or is this a typical Tottenham tactic by the club not to banish players, because then it gives them the upper hand in negotiations when it comes to selling them, whereas if they banish them, it gives the buying club the upper hand? We'll start with you on this one, Michael, and we'll work our way around.
Yes, Spence, I honestly don't see him being part of the squad in the upcoming season, unless he massively impresses Ange, right? Because listen, players can always change, right? They can always adapt something in their play style, or just generally be better with age, right? But so far from what we've seen with Jed Spence and the fact that we've been negotiating with Genoa, unfortunately, like the deal didn't happen. But I think the sheer fact that we've tried to offload him, I think it's more of, as you said, we prefer not to banish a player, rather give them a chance, show themselves, so maybe someone will come in and buy, right? That's the way I see it. Because if you really want to get rid of someone, then for me, the easiest way is to actually show the world that they are worth you looking at them, right? So if he impresses in this game and maybe one or two other games, then maybe like I don't know, a championship side or a Premier League side, maybe someone from Europe will actually come in and buy him, right? Because if we just ostracize him and leave him hanging in the training room, then there is no eyes put on him, right? And then if you really want to get rid of him, you will probably have to sell him for peanuts or something like that, right? So I think I don't think it's dangerous to take a player like him, right? And if he impresses, if he's really good and impresses Ange, then that would be maybe our right back, backup solved, right? Maybe. I don't believe that, but I'm just like giving that as an option, right?
Look, I understand what you're saying. For me, I'm not a fan of bringing players that the manager has no plans for to these games on tour in general at all, because I feel like it's just a wasted exercise. I feel like that's time and effort they could be pumping into their squad and concentrating on the players that are actually going to sort of be here over the course of the season that he's going to rely on. That's how I feel. But I mean, Dermot, where are you at with it, lad?
Well, I know for a fact they are going to offload him. They are looking to offload Jed Spence. He's only made 4 appearances since he signed for us. He's made more appearances away from Tottenham than he has from Tottenham. Now, I've got a 10-minute pre-record coming out tomorrow about Jed Spence and my thoughts on it completely. But I think Tottenham want to have the upper hand when they're trying to sell him. And I think you're right, Dave, on that. If you banish him, it gives the club coming in the upper hand. Tottenham want to get back what to get into. And at the time, we were all debating, was it a Conte signing? Was it a club signing? It really proves the fact it was a club signing, and it was a bad club signing. So whoever thought Jed Spence was a good signing, I'm so glad they're out of Tottenham and they're not working for us anymore, because they were fucking useless. So do you know what I mean? I think he's booked for numbers and to show what he can do, to show Genoa or whoever else wants to buy him. Look, he's here, he's fit, he's free, he's available. So, he'd be gone, I think, by the end of the window. If not, he'd be loaned out again, I think, by the end of the window. But he won't be part of Ange's plan. I don't want him part of Ange's plan. I think he's got a bad attitude, and the sooner he's out of Hotspur way, the better. Okay. And Soren, where are you at when it comes to Jed Spence redemption arc, or Tottenham just typical bringing him, so that they can have the upper hand in negotiations?
I think there's a little bit of both, and I think Derm just kind of summed it up right at the end. I was about to ask him a question, but he kind of answered it before I could ask it. I think he's got the talent. I think he can play football. It's the attitude, and whether I think he will be sold. I think everybody's expecting him to go, but I also think it may be just one of those cases where we've said to him, look, show me what you can do. Show me if your attitude's right, then maybe we will keep you. If we can't sell you, I mean, I don't think it's a case of we're taking him along because we need the upper hand, because we've already shown we're willing to take a big cut on him. I mean, what I think, what was it, 6 million or something we were going to accept for him, and we've paid 20. So you look at it that way and think, well, we're not going to lose any more by not taking him. So to me, it could just be one of those last chance saloon type things. And, you never know. We've seen it before with some players, not many, where they suddenly realise that, look, if I don't do something now, I am going to struggle. Where is my career going? And maybe somebody's giving him a boot up the arse. Because I think that's all that's wrong with him, really, is the attitude. I think as a player, he could still progress and learn and become a Premiership player. Whether he's good enough to be a Tottenham Hotspur player is yet to be seen, because his attitude just gets in the way.
But he didn't have that attitude at Forest. That's the thing.
No, but he wasn't a bad player at Forest.
No,
neither.
he wasn't. He had the attitude at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
He didn't have it at Forest. Now it's back again. So whatever Forest did with him, he needs to get back. He needs to get back into that mindset again. He is a decent player if he puts his mind to it. But again, I think it's too much money, too much for young players.
I mean, that could be it. You know, it could be one of those scenarios where he just suddenly thinks he's made it in life. And unfortunately for him, he's had that kick up the arse. He's gone abroad. He's gone to 2 clubs now where they've kind of said no, you know. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that was enough just for him to sit back and think, well, you know, I need to change my attitude. It's not going to be easy for the lad, but maybe Ange is the manager that could do it. You know, it can't be easy if you get signed by a big club like Tottenham, if we're calling it a big club before you start on me. And then
I call it a big club anyway.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden the manager turns around to everybody and tells everybody in the world, well, I didn't want him. Well, you know, the attitude's got to be there then, because you think, well, why the hell should I bother? Because you're not going to play me. So why should I bother doing anything? Maybe that's why the attitude went. We don't know.
And you know what, Soren? That was exactly the point I was going to make. I was going to say, I don't blame the guy for being angry. He's got a dream move to the Premier League. If anyone's looked into his background, you know, from the club he was playing at as a kid, he was the last one took off that team into an academy. You know, he was about to be dropped before he even got his professional contract, was the last one to get rewarded that and stuff. He's had the hard route in football. He finally gets a dream move to the Premier League, and then all of a sudden he's used between a war between Daniel Levy and Antonio Conte. I don't blame him for being angry at the football club. I don't blame him for probably having an attitude where I think maybe hopefully he learns from this going forward for the benefit of his career is, you know, if there is a change in guard, give that next manager the opportunity. Try and, you know, don't take your frustrations out on the next regime. You know, try and get your head right and stuff like that. But look, to Kempston Spurs' point, you know, he might have dropped it. Look, I think one of the biggest problems was he was turning up late for training and team meetings and stuff like that. If he's corrected that, then you never know. But look, let's wait and see. But just thought it was interesting that he was travelling. But guys, let's move on to centre-back, because tonight we have very few centre-backs available to us. And actually for the QPR game again on Saturday as well, I think we'll probably see Ashley Phillips get his opportunity. We'll start with you on this one, Dermo. What does Ashley Phillips have to do to catch Postecoglou's eye and convince him that he can be the 4th choice centre back instead of being shipped out on loan again and Tottenham heading into the market?
I think he's just got to play his game and just show Ange that he's comfortable playing he's comfortable playing in the first team, and just play his game. That's all he's got to do. And just have a good game and make sure he shows he's competent in his defending, that he concentrates for the whole match and just do his job. That's all he has to do for me, because I feel he's a very big talent, and it's plain to see he's a talent. So for me, just do your job. Just enjoy yourself. Don't let the pressure override you. Just enjoy the football. Let your football do the talking, and that will catch Ange's eye. If you go in there nervous and you let it overcome you, you're going to make mistakes. And then Ange's going to think, can you play under pressure? I don't think so. There's a bit of pressure tonight with him. And I think just go out, as long as he enjoys his football, plays it like he is enjoying it, then I don't think he'll have one damn problem. And he will be our 4th backup this season. If we don't buy another one, he will be, because he's got the talent. And I think Ange wouldn't have picked him tonight if he didn't think he could cope with it. So just enjoy it.
I think the point is, though, Dermo, that Ange Postecoglou has no choice. Radu Dragusin, Romero, Van de Ven are all at international competition. They're on holiday. Doji's out injured. You know, he's the only fit available centre back. Dorrington's still recovering from his hamstring injury.
It's a chance for him tonight. Just enjoy yourself and just prove to Ange that you can play. As long as you play your game to the best of your ability and give 110%. That's all Ange wants. And if you could do that and do well in training and turn up on time and your attitude's right, Ange will back you all the way. So he's got to do it. And if he does that, then fine. He will be our fourth backup this season behind Rudu. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them play tonight, to be fair, and Saturday as well. It's a good run out for him and a good test for him. Good test for the youngsters as well. These next two games as well. Mikey Moore and the rest of them lads that have stepped up to the first team. I think we're going to see a lot more of them this season as well.
Do you know what? For me, I'm genuinely excited for Ashley Phillips. He joined here, I think, what was it, before the last preseason friendly last summer. Never really got an opportunity to really showcase what he can do in front of Ange Postecoglou in an unpressurized environment. By the time the opportunity arose, we were already knee-deep in the season, trying to get our season back on track. So it was a bit difficult for Ange just to go, right, go on out there. But Soren, I guess what I'm asking is, I've identified two areas where I think he can excel in that puts him in Ange Postecoglou's eye, or at least in Ange Postecoglou's thinking. One is early last season, we were non-existent. We were weak. We couldn't compete. We all seen the troubles we've had from set pieces for a number of years. If he can go out over these next two games and be aerially dominant, I think that's one area you can get his mind into thinking. And I think the second part is, I think the reason why he was loaned out in January over Alfie Dorrington, because he was loaned out before Dorrington got his injury, is because I think Dorrington is more composed on the ball and has a better passing range. And I think if Ashley Phillips can go out there and get on the ball, demonstrate a bit of passing range, and I'm not talking about 5-yard passes sideways. Look at Romero and Van de Ven. The reason why they're so eye-catching is because they get the ball and they push it forward, push it into that midfield, get attacks going. I think that's the other area where Ashley Phillips can get into Postecoglou's thinking. The only hesitation I have, we've seen it with Radu Dragusin. It's a different story playing on the left side when you've no left foot. Is that what could potentially end up holding Ashley Phillips back? Or do you think if he does the two things I've spoke of, that he can definitely get himself into thinking?
I think he's young enough to be able to change the way he plays if Ange finds that necessary. But yeah, I think it is, he's hopefully one for the future, definitely. And if the mentality is right for him to come in and say, yeah, I'm quite happy to sit on that bench and wait for my turn, then, big up to the lad. I'm looking forward to seeing him, because you see him play for like the under-21s and in his loan spells and that, and he's looked immense. He's looked good. And you just want to see that come to our, we were crying out for him before he went out on loan to come in and play. And you wondered why Ange wasn't giving him that chance. Maybe now we're going to see, can he play this system? Can he play that way? I don't see why he can't. And I'm excited to see Phillips, because he is one player that I wanted to see last season. I felt he could have played, some of those games, some of those come on in the last 20 minutes, 10 minutes when we were up in some games or whatever. But yeah, I think Angie's taking him to see whether he's ready for his system or not. And I think he'll play tonight, and I think he'll play Saturday as well.
I really do hope so, and I really hope the kid takes the opportunity, because when I looked at him on loan last season against Plymouth, Michael, physically the guy is no problem able to handle it. It was more so in possession. I think, sometimes, because when Phillips arrived at Plymouth, he went in under a manager that he had played under for the England underage setup in Ian Foster. He tried to change the way Plymouth were playing. He tried to play out from the back, try and play this fluid football. And he brought Ashley Phillips in to sort of help with that transition. And look, being honest, there were times on the ball, sometimes he was found wanting. What's your thoughts on Ashley Phillips overall? Do you think he'll take these two games? Do you think he'll take this opportunity?
I think when you are like a 17 or 18-year-old kid, there has to be, you have to show the manager something that he will look at you and say, listen, Kitty, I can rely on you in this particular thing, right? And as you said, if he's physically strong and aerially dominant and can actually fight for the ball in the air, right? I think that would be really helpful for us, right? Because there will come a certain time in the season where we are under the cosh and, I don't know, Van de Ven is injured or Romero is out of the game or, something happens, right? And we have to bring someone on. And I would rather bring on Ashley Phillips, who is good aerially and can help us defend corners, rather than Ben Davies, right? Because unfortunately, unless you show that you are worthy of a spot, there will always be a seniority, a seniority thing, right? So Ben Davies will usually get the spot over you just because he's older, more experienced, and you can generally rely on him more, right? I'm not saying that Ben Davies is reliable, but in the eyes of the manager, if you have to take a risk, you would rather put in an experienced player, right? The issue with Ben Davies is he doesn't really there is nothing that Ben Davies shines in my opinion, right? And if Ashley Phillips can actually use those 2 games to tell Ange, listen, Ange, I'm not the best at bringing the ball out of the back, right? But if you put me in the box, I'm 1.95 m or however tall he is, right? I'm 1.95 m. If I have to head out the ball, I will head out the ball, right? And this is something that can be a base for him to start getting into the squad, right? Because as I said, similar thing with Bergvall and Gray and other guys, right? Like, do not expect them to be like nailed on starters and to fight for the spot, right? But I would be so happy if you actually use them when the opportunity comes and allow them to gain experience and allow them to show what they are good at, right? That's the way I see developing kids, right? Because unless you are like Lamine Yamal and you are absolutely out of this world and everyone raves about you, right? Then you probably won't nail a spot in a big team when you are 17, right? But you can slowly start getting into it, right? Phil Foden, when he was 17, he wasn't getting like regular minutes, day in, day out, 90 minutes here, 60 there, 60 there. He was more of a guy that was slowly being built up to that spot that he's at right now, right? When he's 23 and he is actually like one of the main players at City, right? So that's the way I see it. I think like him, Bergvall, all those guys, right? Not only Phillips, but other young guys, they have to show Ange something that he will look at them and see, listen, I can rely on you in this, right? And I can bring you on this type of game. And as I said, right, to not repeat the point that I made, but that's the way I see it, right? So it's a huge opportunity for them, in my opinion.
No, do you know what? 100%. I agree with you. For me, I've always argued, why not give some of them guys an opportunity? Then some of the shit that we've continued to give opportunities in the past and has completely let us down. And let's be brutally honest, embarrassed this club's name all across England and all across Europe with some of the defeats that they were suffering. Why not go and give it to kids who, okay, if they lose, you can accept it. But you've got kids out there who are trying their heart out, trying everything for this and also to make their way in the professional game. So, and I would also argue maybe some of them have done enough over the course of them training with the first team last season and stuff to be able to warrant being given these opportunities in these first couple of games. So I'm definitely excited. Let's wait and see what happens. Jack Kanicki has gifted out 1 Irish Hotspur membership. Let's just have a quick look. Let's see where that's gone to. And Jacko has gifted that too. It's actually gone to Phil Coyes, the lucky recipient. So big up, Phil. Make sure you thank Jacko for that. Feel free to pass on the favor if you want. Pass it on to someone else. Guys, I do have 2 more talking points to get through. I want to talk about Lucas Bergvall and Archie Gray next, and then we'll move into maybe some the striker position actually. With Richarlison's fitness in doubt, who do we maybe want to see lead the line for the next 2 games? But everybody out there, there's 240 people watching. I don't know where you're getting the time at 5 o'clock in the day. Some of you are definitely skipping work. But if you could do the nice thing for me and smash that like button, that would be absolutely awesome. Well, you can't comment unless you smash the subscribe button. So I presume most of you have already done that. And why not grab one of the channel memberships? There's a link attached to the chat there. If you do enjoy the content and the graph put into it, why not grab one of the channel memberships? And if you want any talking points that you feel like we've neglected or haven't addressed, get them in. We know it's a big, bad world out there, so at least we ask you to do is put them in the comments. But if you feel like you want to make it a super chat, stand out, make sure we can't miss it, feel free to do that. Who doesn't like their name up in lights? And big up Sabas Wolf grabbing himself a YouTube membership as well. Really, really do appreciate that, my man. Big up Sebas. So, guys, let's get in and talk about the likes of Archie Gray and Bergvall. Now, they're 2 new arrivals this summer. I know we signed Bergvall last January, but technically he's a new arrival. Many Spurs fans hold high hopes for them, even though they're only 18 years of age. What sort of impact do you think they're going to have on this season, if any? And we'll start with you on this one, Soren.
I think it's going to be different for both of them. I expect Archie Gray to be ready now. I think he's got the talent, and he's played in a league that's nearer the Premiership standard than where Bergvall's come from. Bergvall is one of those players to me that has a lot of talent, but he needs nurturing. Whereas you look at Archie Gray and you think, you just think he's one of those youngsters that at some point in his career, he is going to be a big player. And I am excited. I'm over the moon we've got him. I think he's going to be a real talent for Tottenham. And I see him playing a big part this season. A lot of people think he's not going to be ready. I think he'll be ready. I think he'll play a lot more than people realise. And I think he's going to be the next Pap Sarr for us. I really do. Bergvall, I think we won't see as much. We'll see little cameo probably appearances from him. But again, he's one for the future. And he, if he meets his talent, then he's going to be another. Look, all our youngsters, we have got such an exciting future with these youngsters. If only half of them come through, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be an amazing future for these players. And hopefully Tottenham keep hold of them. But Archie Gray, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. A lot of Spurs, all you Spurs fans out there that have been criticising the signing of Archie Gray, saying he's not good enough and he's young and all this. You just wait and see this season, and you can clip that.
Well, look, I wouldn't do that to you. I say many things and stuff like that as well. But sorry. What is it about Archie Gray that you believe in the talent, and Bergvall to a large degree? What is it about the talent? What have you seen that you're convinced that this guy is going to have a much more of an impact than maybe what some Spurs fans think he will?
Because when you look at, the way the Championship's played, it's a fairly fast-paced league, and it's one of those. And if you look at the way he plays in that league, and I know it's a big step up before anybody tries telling me that, but he's composed on the ball. He's not afraid to try things. Yes, he's going to make mistakes. Let's not pretend that he's not, and he's not going to be the finished article yet. But he's composed on the ball. He's used to that pressure. Playing for Leeds isn't a small thing. Leeds is still a big club, and there, with that comes pressure. He's from a footballing family. It's not like an only son or something that's got talent. He's been brought up in a footballing world. He will be a good player. He will be a very, very good player. And look, I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. It won't be the first time, but I just think he's going to land with his feet on the floor, and he will show Ange just what he can do. Whereas with Bergvall, because he's coming from that league where it's not as competitive, it's not the same sort of standard, he'll take a little bit longer. He could be the surprise. He could be the one that's ready straight away, but I don't think he will be. I think he's at least 6 months to a year behind where Archie Gray will be now.
Interesting. And do you know what? I think you're right. I do think, what was it, his father, his uncle, and I think his great-grandfather. And I do think that's going to stand to him. I think there's so much that he can learn off them experiences that he can maybe take away and learn from. They'll keep on top of him to make sure he's focused on his football as well. And I do think you're right. Maybe he might have much more of an impact than what you think he will. And the last question I'm going to throw your way, sorry, and then we'll bring Michael in on Bergvall and Archie Gray is, Archie Gray did play right back for the first 45 minutes in the behind-the-closed-door friendly against Cambridge, where we won 7-2. Do you think that's maybe a hint of where we're going to see Archie Gray maybe have his initial impact over the course of this season? Because I feel like he probably will get his opportunities at right back rather than midfield, but you're shaking your head, so you disagree.
I think we'll see him probably in both, because unless Porro is injured, I think he'll play quite a bit again. Look, there are every chance that he will play right back. And I think he's going to be one of those players that will be happy to play wherever just to get on the pitch. And the thing is, with the way we play our right backs anyway, you know, it's almost like a midfielder anyway, isn't it? So there's not a lot of difference, and maybe he will play there. But I see him, obviously, maybe not so much in the Prem games, but certainly in Europe and the early stages of the Cups. It wouldn't surprise me playing in midfield. I think it depends who goes as well. We've got to wait and see who goes and who we get in, because, you know, there's every chance, to me, Dragusin might play right back. Interesting
with Dragusin at right back. Do you know what? Even if he did play right back, you're right. They play inverted anyway, so he's practically going into the midfield anyway. So he should actually feel very comfortable in that. It'd be interesting. I think we'll get more of a what's the right word? I think we'll get more of a hint, you know, over the course of the next few friendlies, seeing where he comes on, where he's playing and stuff like that. But interesting discussion there on Archie Gray. Just quickly, Sebas Wolf, really appreciate the support, brother. And he's handed out 5 memberships. He's doing the Lord's work, spreading the word of the Irish Hotspur and making sure people get access to absolutely everything. And that's Lee Smithy Smith, Spurs Diehard TV, which I think is Adrian. I could be wrong. Mr. Schrocka. We've got Yanis Rublus, Foggy Foam, and in a coma. I was going to say insomnia. In a coma is a bit worse. But look, you know, I can't pick the names for you guys, and he's gifted out 5 memberships. So really appreciate that, and hopefully all you guys can say thank you to Sebas, you lucky recipients. And we've got this from Shem Tam. Only 1 hour and 15 minutes left. Come on, you Spurs. And of course, only about 9 minutes until the lineup as well. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, because it's hopefully they put it out like they normally do, and because it's preseason, they don't skimp out on it and we get it last minute. That'll be an absolute disaster. And also, I just want to say a big up to, I think, Australians, and there's some other people that are tuning in, where it's crazy early hours in the morning for them. So guys, big up, much respect, and appreciate the support. And come on, you Spurs, hopefully we get the win for you. But Michael, Archie Gray, Bergvall, I mean, take it away. Where do you want to go on this? You excited to see them? There's some part of the Spurs fan base where they're like, yep, they can have a big impact. But then there's another part of the Spurs fan base like, hold on here. They're only 18. There's only so much influence they're going to have over the course of this season. What sort of impact are you expecting from them? Soren thinks Archie Gray is going to have a, you know, more of an initial impact than Bergvall. Do you agree with that as well?
Yes, I think Archie Gray will be a bigger part of the squad than Bergvall because of his versatility. I think he can cover more positions, and I don't necessarily fully agree with the fact that he will play most minutes in the midfield. I think he will have an equal share, or maybe slightly skewed towards one position, right? But the reason why I'm saying this is because as of now we haven't trimmed down the amount of midfielders that we have. So I think, again, a seniority point comes into mind, right? Where Sarr, Bentancur, and Bissouma, and even Højbjerg, because he's still there. I know he will probably leave, right? But so far for the number 6 and number, the more defensive 8, let's call it that way, positions, we have a lot of players. So I think Archie Gray will be the one to plug holes here and there, because I think he will also play right back a couple of times for us this upcoming season. And with Bergvall, I think Bergvall for me will be the more offensive midfielder, right? As from the qualities that we've seen of his, I think that he will be more of a Maddison substitution or the other 8 substitution, but I think he will assume a more offensive role. But it also, for me, means that there will be less opportunities for him unless we don't have players to fill those spaces, right? Because unless Maddison is injured, then I think that mostly Maddison will play, right? And that's also assuming that, maybe if we bring Eze, then Eze can play that role, then it changes the balance, right? But for now, I think Gray will be a bigger part. But also, to answer the different part of your question, I don't necessarily have expectations towards those kids, right? Because of their age. Many people will say that, the age doesn't matter. If they are good enough, they should be playing or whatever, right? But for me, when we bring in a seasoned pro who is like 27, my expectations are different. I expect them to hit the ground running. I expect them to impact the team immediately. Whereas with Gray and Bergvall, I'm more in a camp of, listen, if first 2 games of theirs aren't good, right, then I don't mind. Like, I will maybe point out the mistakes, but it's not like I will go on to say that, listen, they are useless, we wasted time, right? Because there is still like a shitloads of time and opportunities for them to grow and for them to hone their skills, adapt to the play style and all that stuff, right? So, yes, the way I look at it is, I think they will play minutes. I just don't expect. I don't expect them to have like a big impact on the team. If they do, brilliant, right? But I don't expect that to happen. I would be more like happily surprised that if they have a big impact, right? But yeah, listen, we have to give them time, not only time in terms of like time on the pitch, but also our own time as fan base, our own patience and time for them to grow, right? That's the way I see it. If you want to see them be part of our team, right? That's the way I do.
And do you know what? I agree with you. I think for me, the way I see it, right, is any impact they have on the season is a bonus. They're 18 years old. I'm not expecting them to go out there, come out of this season with 10 goals and, 15 assists and stuff like that. It's not going to happen. But what I do want is, like after the seniority, like you're talking about, like Basuma, Bentancur and stuff like that. After that, I want to see them get minutes if there's injuries. I don't want to see them being held back. There's no point to it. Someone like Archie Gray, you're forking out 40 million. Now, I know Roden went the other way, so it's a bit less than that. But that's still a huge outlay for a teenager. So you would expect that he's been brought in here to have a more of an instant impact than maybe someone like Bergvall. I think Bergvall, they've spotted the talent and they're going to maybe hopefully procure that over time. Look at me using the big words. Procure that over time. That I think that's probably where I'm at with it. I expect Archie Gray to maybe have more of an initial impact than Bergvall, but the limit is the sky's the limit for someone like Bergvall. Good to see Matty Hayes in here, excited. Tottenham is back. Big up, Matty. Good to see you, my man, and hopefully you are keeping well, sir. Along with Donovan, great to see you as well. Thomas has also put in a super chat. Thomas, really appreciate support from Norway. Didn't know that about you, Thomas. Whereabouts in Norway? I remember being up at the Aviva watching Ireland-Norway. You absolutely kicked the crap out of us that day. And he says, I absolutely love this channel. Big up, Dave. Really appreciate that, my man, and thank you very much. If there was a question that you were supposed to put in on that super chat, feel free to put one in, and we'll bring it up and ask it to the panel. But big up, Thomas, my man, and really, really do appreciate the support. Top man. It goes a long way. Any YouTube channel, it goes a long way for. Every single one of us do this off our own back. We've no sponsorships behind us, no big wigs funding us and everything else. What we do before the game, thumbnails, preparing the videos, questions, all the research, etc., etc. It's all done off our own back. So it does go a long way and really appreciate that, Thomas. And then I did have a follow-up question for you from Phil, Michael, and then we'll head to Dermot and get his feelings on Graham Bergvall. He says where he's at with it is he's amazing and happy with Bergvall and Archie Gray, but we need some proven quality around this transfer window for me. Don't know what you guys think. And I think we all probably maybe agree on that, right, Michael? That, yeah, exciting young talent, great. But there is still issues in the squad that need to be addressed, right?
Yes, of course. Like, I treat like Archie Gray and Bergvall as investments, right? That's also part of the reason why I have this approach of I'm going to give them plenty of chances. I'm not going to be annoyed if they don't perform off the bat, right? But we seriously need to improve that starting 11. And I'm not saying like, because I think like goalkeeper and back four starting places, I think we are set. I don't have any issues with any of those players, right? I am really happy. I am also happy with Son in the forward line. And I want to give more chances to Kulusevski. And I think like Maddison is probably going to have a good start to the season, right? But other than that, the striker position, the midfield positions, maybe even right wing position, you can argue, right? Those are places where we can easily improve. And I'm talking about like improving the starting 11, not only improving the bench, right? So I want to see like the 1st of September, I want to see a different starting 11 compared to what we had at the end of last season, right? I want to see different names.
Yeah.
I just want to see a different striker. And it's not necessarily me saying, listen, Richarlison is too shit, he has to go, whatever, right? I'm not on that side of the line, right? I just want to see us being able to impact the starting 11 and impact the games with players that we brought in during this summer, right? Because we definitely need this in the squad. I don't think our forward line is good enough, and I don't think our midfield is consistent enough, right? So we need improvements in those positions. And I think you guys share the same thoughts, right?
No, 100%. I think sometimes because you're talking about one subject, about like the likes of Archie Gray or Bergvall and, the talent, I feel like people maybe take that and run with it and go, these guys don't think we need more improvements. They're okay with this. It's like, we're talking about one subject, but on the other hand, we also agree that we do need improvements in the squad, and look, anyone knows from where I've sat from last summer on the Harry Kane thing, I've warned that we need you get rid of him, you're going to have to replace him, and I still stand by that. Ilmatic, yeah, he has a brother who plays striker, I believe. Apparently, he's not too bad either. Maybe we could get the double swoop on there. Who knows, Ilmatic?
But Dave, quickly, if I can say, Bergvall also has an older brother who plays for Djurgården Gardens, and he is playing right back, by the way. Just a funny trivia for. Wow. Actually, a lot of players have brothers that aren't necessarily like of the the same quality or whatever, right? Also, this Desire Due guy that we've been linked to, right? This winger from France. His older brother also plays for Rennes, and as a left back or right back, I don't remember, but he has an older brother in the same team. So it's really funny when you see yourself linked to a player and you are like, am I linked to the wonder kid or am I linked to the brother who isn't necessarily
you never know. You could nearly fill a whole starting 11 team full of brothers. Remember that famous chant? A team full of Nevilles. Someone might get their wish one of them days. Big up Danny Reardon as well, becoming a new YouTube member. Really appreciate the support, Danny. We're going to have plenty of members perks coming up for you over the course of the season. We already have them decided. We just need to put them out. And one of them is after every single game day, starting from the game against QPR. If you guys want to send in a video sharing your thoughts, members, we'll put them up on the channel, for everyone else to have a look, and share and engage with you and stuff like that. So feel free to avail of that, plus plenty of other things coming your way, Danny. But you know yourself, sometimes you just got to tease. You can't just give it all at once, because it's not the right way to go about it. But Dermot, I'm going to go and get the lineups now. I'm going to hunt them and get them up on
I've already
screen.
sent it to you. Sent it to you on WhatsApp.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll get it up on screen now in just one moment. What's your thoughts on Bergvall and Gray, my man?
I'm really excited. Like Soren, I'm so excited about Gray. I mean, he is a talent and a half. He will hit the ground running. I slightly disagree with everyone. Bergvall will hit the ground running as well, I think. I think I've seen him play and I've seen what he's done in training. He looks ready. He looks like he's ready to prove a point. And one thing about Ange, young players will run through a brick wall for that man.
Yeah.
And that is the point. This is why we're buying young players, because they will work. And what I can see happening, I don't want you guys to think, but I can see Romero being pushed into a number 6. I'm playing Rudu and Mickey van der Ven in centre back. I put Archie Gray in that midfield with either Basuma or Sal. And then you got Bergvall in the number 10 role, pushing Madison. And then you get a new striker, you get a new winger. And then you got your front line sort of all sorted, because Bergvall will play in any position. Johnson as well. Kulu as well. So you're going to have a lot of competitions up there. But Archie Gray, I think him and Papa Sarr together, that partnership is mouth-watering. Yeah. And then put Romero in as a number 6. So I think he will be pushed into that number 6 role. And then put Rudu in with Mickey van der Ven.
See, the thing I was just going to say, the thing with Archie Gray is he will be a player that does a lot of running, a lot of closing down. And that's why I think, I do agree he'll play right back, but I also think he'll play in that midfield because of his work rate.
Well, it looks like he's going to be playing centre-back today. Let's go through this lineup just quickly, guys.
I just wanted to say
Of course, Brandon Austin starts in goal. It looks like Pedro Porro's at right back. Gray and Skip are going to form the centre-back partnerships, and no Ashley Phillips, which I don't understand why. Donnelly will play at left back, I presume, because he did play at left back in the friendly against Cambridge, and apparently he done very well. So, and he's left-footed, so he'll play at left back. With Basuma, Madison, and Kulizeski, I presume, will be the midfield tree. It'd be interesting to see whether it's the same sort of shape as last year, whether it's the tree or whether it's two holding and one as an out-and-out cam. And then you've probably got, Johnson on the right, Solomon off the left, and Son up front. So there's over 300 people watching in-house right now. Guys, please get in the chat. Give me your thoughts on the lineup. It's absolutely madness, in my opinion, some of it. Then on the bench, you've got Whiteman and Gunter, Jed Spence, Emerson Royale, Ashley Phillips. Why is he not starting? Don't understand. Robson, who's also from the academy. I think he's a fullback. Tyrese Hall, John, Bergval, Devine, Moore, Santiago, Lancashire, Werner, Valise, and Scarlett. So by the looks of it, and if we go off what he done against Cambridge in the behind the closed door friendly, he might end up playing two teams and switching it around at half time. And by the looks of it, the second team could be full of a lot of youngsters in and around the club, which will definitely, I'll be excited to see how some of them get on in the first team environment. Look, we'll start with you, Dermo, and work our way back up. I mean, what's your thoughts on the lineup after seeing it? Are you surprised that Phillips isn't starting the game, isn't getting more of an opportunity? And also, Son back up front. Someone like me argued it didn't work out last year. Why are we going to try and do the same thing again?
That does surprise me. That's the one. It surprised me Phillips is not playing, and that does surprise me. But look, it is a pre-season. It is just getting players up to fitness. We are going to see two different teams, but yeah, Son didn't work up there last season. Why are we trying the same thing again? I'm sure we could have put somebody else in there, but look, it is what it is. It's a pre-season game. It's a game we should win. And Hearts lost against Leyton Orient at the weekend as well, 2-1. So, they lost their first game. But, look, it is what it is. It's just about players getting minutes now, isn't it? Getting minutes and getting fit and getting prepared for the season. So,
yeah,
it's a weird lineup, mate. I have to say it's a head-scratcher.
Well,
but,
look. Go on.
It's a head-scratcher, but, look, it's all about minutes, isn't it? It's all about getting fit, minutes, and getting back into the swing of things. So I think we just have to see how it goes this game, next couple of games. We'll see. I agree with you. We'll see a completely different team second half, like we did against Cambridge. So,
well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Big up, Kurt. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Soren, let's head down to you, my man. I mean, you're probably the voice of reason. Calm someone like Dermo down, who's a bit, head scratching over the lineup.
I'm just wondering whether Johnson will play through the middle and Son on the left and Solomon on the right. Maybe
that's a good point.
Maybe Son isn't playing down the centre. I mean, he probably will, but who
plays in the middle then?
Well, like I say, I think Johnson might play through the middle, and then Son on the left, Solomon on the right. But it might not be. Maybe Son will play down the middle. But yeah, I'm kind of scratching my head a little bit as to why we haven't started with Ash Phillips. Whether it's because there's no other defender to come on in the second half, I don't know. But to me, I would have sort of tried to start with a stronger first 11 on the first half, with sort of more players in where they should be playing than. So I mean, you look at that. The only players that are kind of probably going to play where they should be is middle forward. So you kind of look at the back and think,
Poro would be a right back, right? So
yeah, we're assuming. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Ash Gray play in centre back. I can't think I have, but maybe I have. And Skippy, what? It's baffling, but look, maybe it's just about getting minutes into the legs. So let's not get carried away. It's a friendly. It's basically what would have been the first friendly of the pre-season. So It's just to get some time in the legs, in it. That's as much as it is. But still exciting to see Tottenham are back. Let's leave it at that.
100%. I think many people are going to be left bamboozled of what they're going to see. I'm telling you now, you're going to see Donnelly at left back. It's what happened against Cambridge, and Gray and Skip at centre back. I know a lot of people are alarmed, going, look at the state of that. I get it, but Romero, Van de Ven, Dragosin, all of our centre backs, they're all on holidays right now, recuperating. The only question I have is, why not give Phillips the full 90 minutes, have a proper look at him. If he is your only available sort of centre-back, that's where maybe my qualms come in. The rest of it, I was maybe sort of expecting to a large degree. It'd be interesting to see how Manor Solomon gets on, because he had a great game against Burnley before he ended up getting injured. And, there's a real player in there. I know someone like Jack, I'd probably have to put a halt to his flight, to sit there and watch Solomon. He absolutely loves the guy from his time at Shakhtar. But Michael, your thoughts on the lineup, my man, and then I suppose we better, wind down the show and get ready for this watch along.
So the way I look at it is, if I counted correctly, there are 16 players on the bench, right? So for me, the way I look at it is just that we want to play two different 11s in one half and one 11 in a different half, right? So I think it's just like a makeshift backline to give like 45 minutes to many players. That's just the way I look at it, right? Because actually, if you look at that starting 11 that is on the screen right now, the senior players will play in the positions they play in normally, right? So Poro is right back, Bissouma defensive mid, Madison Kulusevski is the 8 pairing, and the forward line plays forward line, right? So I just think Ange basically plugged the holes with what he has left. That's the way I see it, right? And I expect guys like Bergwall, Phillips, like Devine, Moore, maybe Velisov, Lancashire, Werner, and all those other guys to play in the second half. And basically, they will just be substituted 11 for 11. That's the way I see it. So it's a precision friendly. I honestly don't mind if you wanted to play some center back, then why not, right? But I don't expect this game to tell us anything about how those players will play in the upcoming season, right? I don't the fact that Gray is playing against Hearts as a center back doesn't mean that we'll use him as a center back. That's the way I see it, right? So I just think it's basically they just fill in there because we don't have center backs available right now, right? Because when you look at it, right, Romero went to the final and won it. Van de Ven was in the semi-final and of the Euros, right? Radu Dragosin was in the knockout stages. So I guess the senior center backs are on vacation right now, rightfully so, right? They had a long season behind them and the tournament, right? So they are allowed to spend some time with their family. So we just had to plug in the holes with the younger ones, right? And as far as I remember, Dorrington is injured right now, right? So it's not even like we can use him, right? Yeah. So I just think it's purely like 11 players in the first half, 11 players in the second half, and I think we'll see Phillips in the second half. That's the way I see it.
100%, and I think that it's very important that people maybe understand that these first two games primarily is just about getting minutes into the leg, getting back into the routine, feeling the rhythm again and stuff like that. One thing I will say, it's a huge opportunity for Jamie Donnelly. I know it's at left back, but with the way Adoji plays and he bombs forward, it's a huge opportunity for someone like Jamie Donnelly to show that his football intelligence today, that he can adapt to multiple positions and put himself in the thinking. And also Solomon coming back from his injury, I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm hoping it's Kulusevski that leads the line up front. That'll give me an absolute chubby. I'd love that. And then, a lot of the youngsters off the bench, I'm super excited to see what they can bring in the second half. And then Dark Sun G says, if Bergwall and Gray can affect us like Sarr did, come on, you Spurs. Look, there is an opportunity that they could. It just takes the manager, the balls to give the guy the opportunity. Under Conte, Sarr could have been a big asset to Conte, but Conte chose not to really use him at any stage when he really could have, or given that real trust or that faith, So Bergval and Gray, they have the opportunity. Same with some of our other, academy kids. Some of our academy kids, like Donnelly, is 19. They're older than Bergval and Gray. And because, Bergval and Gray have maybe more senior experience, they may be looked at as being older or further ahead of their development. But look, let's wait and see. They can have a similar impact. Any of them can. It's just about whether Mandra has the balls and the belief to be able to give them that opportunity. And then after that, it's up to them to take it, Dark Sung G. But big up, my man, and really appreciate the support, brother. But guys, that is it for me. I have to go and get the watch along ready and get it up and running. I should be out back on live for about 6:30, 25 to 7 for the watch along. No Jack today, so it'll be myself and Nick all the way from New York tuning in, doing that. So guys, please make sure you follow across and join us. Get your chats in, your questions and stuff you want answered in the first half an hour on the build up to the game, just to keep me going, because I have absolutely nothing prepared for it. But you know me, I'm a good talker, so maybe I might get away with it. But I want to say a massive thank you to all you guys out there for tuning in. Over 300 in house today for our first pre-match build-up back. It's a friendly against Hearts, and we got nothing else better to be doing. But I really do appreciate it, and thank you so much. It means a lot. Hopefully it'll only get bigger and better from here on out. A massive thank you to everyone who's gone the extra mile to be able to support the channel today. The likes of Dark Sung G, Jackal, we've also got Sebas Wolf, also gifting out the membership, Shem Tam, Thomas, Danny as well. Really appreciate you guys. It goes a long way. Like I said, none of us have big wigs or sponsors or anything behind us. It's all off our own bat. We all put our own money into it and stuff like that. So really do appreciate the support, guys. And lastly, to the wonderful panel getting us kicked off today, really appreciate their time. 5 o'clock in the afternoon when most people have dinner, kids, or whatever to be attending to, it's not an easy time to give up. So I really appreciate that from these guys, and hopefully we don't have them in the doghouse for the evening. So massive thank you to Soren. Soren, any last words before we end off?
Come on, you Spurs. We're going to win the league. What more do we want? We're still in for 4 trophies. Come on.
And if we don't, and it does go tits up 10 games in, Soren has the coping mechanism as well. So he's well prepared for this season. Really appreciate your time, Soren. Top man. Michael, same to you. Any last words for the Spurs fan base, my man?
Listen, quadruple is still on, right? No, in all seriousness, guys, it's just a preseason game. Please, last thing I want to see today after this match is, listen, this guy didn't perform, this player is shit, that player is shit. It's just a preseason game against Hearts. Just take it, enjoy the fact that we can watch our players again. And come on, you Spurs. Basically, I'm looking forward to the season, and I'm looking forward to what we will hopefully achieve.
Yeah, and hopefully we witness plenty of goals on that journey today. That'll be absolutely unbelievable. Michael, again, thank you very much for your time this evening. Last but not least, Dermatron, my man. Just quickly, I'm going to put your link in the chat, but anything last things you want to say to the Spurs fan base?
Yeah, the quad is on. I'm with Soren all the way. The quad is on. Spurs are back, baby. I am so excited. And just in Ange we trust. And if I have said, just come and guys over to HFC till I die. We're on.
I will say, you know why we're building the hotel, don't you? It's all those rooms are going to be filled with trophies soon.
Yeah, they're actually for you and me, Soren.
Yeah,
that's for me when I go over, and we're going to meet up there and look at all the trophies we're going to win. See, Soren's got the drink, Spurs got the trophies, the party's on.
You're going to start a hashtag now. The quad is on. It'll be hashtagging over Twitter. There'll be a meltdown later on this evening about. But look, guys, I want to say again, reiterate, massive thank you to every single one of you who makes this show possible. You guys out there and the panel. Lastly, like Michael and like the boys I echo, just sit back, enjoy it. Likes of Solomon, Donnelly, some of the youngsters we'll get to see and be enthusiastic about. Gray and Bergval, some of the other shit we can talk about tomorrow, like have we done enough in the window and stuff like that. But the main thing is Spurs are bloody back, baby.
Come on.
Enjoy it. Come on, you Spurs. See you all in 15 minutes for the watch along.
See you.